What's up, YouTube podcast family? You already know the name, man. Pays and Plays podcast here. We're going to go by division NFL win props. We also sprinkle in the division winners so we could talk about that. If you remember me last year, I was only on audio, which I'm still available on audio. I was breaking this down similar. This is now on YouTube. And if you listened, you got some good information and maybe you tailed because a couple things that I said might happen. And I'm going to go by bold predictions on each teams. That's just how I am. Let's get right into it. So when you see me in the same attire or a similar attire on multiple videos, it's me literally doing every division from both conferences within, just like that. That's how I'm in my bag. And of course, you'll see it drop every day. So just know if you see the same attire, that's my mission. So anyway, we're gonna start with the NFC, right? Let's start with the NFC. And we're gonna start with the NFC West. So let's start with the 49ers. Super Bowl, they lost the Super Bowl, of course, but they were runner-ups. We got them at 11 and a half season win total prop. I'm going to go under, and it's just a little under. I think that hook is going to fuck them. I just think the division is going to be a little better. They cakewalked through that division easily last season. I feel like everyone has gotten better to a degree in that division. The Rams have gotten better. The Seahawks have gotten better. The Cardinals, we'll find out for that, but they improved in a little bit more positions that they have, and I think they're gonna be a little more competitive. With the Niners, it's just with me also. I had to think about teams who lose the Super Bowl. They kind of do struggle a little bit the next season, right? We saw with Philly this past season. We see it with Cincinnati a couple seasons ago when they lost. It's just something about that. I guess we'll see if Brock Purdy really is going to be elite. I don't think he's a bad player. Now, I do sometimes watch, shout out to Cam Newton. I watched the 4 for 1 podcast, and I remember him right before the Super Bowl saying Brock Purdy is like the 10th best offensive player on the team. And I couldn't damn near disagree with it, because you're going to say Christian McCaffrey's up there, Deebo Samuel, Kettle, right? Ayuk, Trent Williams, that's 5. So at least I think maybe he may be over exaggerated, but I at least see he's top 10. I at least say about number 6, 7 outside the top 5 most important players in that offense for the 49ers. Now, they play, I mean, the NFC is just, to me, the NFC is soft. So that's just my overall opinion about the division. Them being minus 195 to win the division, that kind of tells you people think they're going to cakewalk it again, which I would see them win the division. I could see it minus 195, but there's no value in that, And I think the bold prediction is that their secondary is going to be pretty mid. But I was saying this last season, they were pretty mid. So I don't. I mean, I don't. The secondary to me is just their like weakest strength to me. That's just how I look at it. In their run defense, I think their run defense will be very improved. I will say that. But yeah, bro, the 49ers, I mean, they're a popular team in the West. I do think they'll beat up on teams like Dallas. They'll beat up on teams for sure. I just guess when it comes to the playoffs, can Kyle Shanahan really step it up? I think that's my thing. I don't know if they make the Super Bowl this year because we're judging on paper as of right now. But I mean, he just to me has opportunities. He had 3 opportunities to win Super Bowls. Offensive coordinator with the Falcons, 28-3. My bad, ATL fans. And then you had 2 times against the Chiefs where you were up by 10 points and couldn't even maintain a double-digit lead. Just my view on the 49ers, but give me the under 11.5 on the win props. Next one we're going to go to the LA Rams. 8.5 is their season win prop total. I'm going over. I at least see a 9-8 season, just barely hitting over. Sean McVay is a good coach. You know, he actually is an executionist when it comes to his coaching. I think the biggest question would be is Matthew Stafford, right? You know, he is getting up there in age, and we also understand that the body don't last long on them hits, bro. Because as much as I've been saying he's one of the toughest quarterbacks I ever seen, bro is fragile as hell. Even in the Lions days, let's be real, he's fragile as shit. And do I think the Lions should give him a tribute? No. Because other than, to me, he reminds me of this is going to sound very steep, but he's a better version of Scott Mitchell. And what did Scott Mitchell do for the Lions? Okay, self-explanatory on that one. Done talking about the Lions for right now. But with the Rams, they did do some improvements. You know, there's no more Aaron Donald, but I did like what they did in the drive. They got a little bit more depth. I just think my bold prediction with this team would be Kerryon Williams to be a Pro Bowler. I know that's crazy, right? I just think this guy has the capability of being a good, well-known back. You do have Blake Corum there that's going to help him out too. We saw the numbers go crazy last year with him until he got hurt, right? And also, I think Cooper Kupp will have a little bit of resurgence. We kind of didn't talk about him a lot because we talked about Puka Nacua, but listen, I saw all right. So this is the real bold prediction. I think the Rams will have a top 10 offense. The two running backs, the two receivers. Come on, man. Stafford just can't throw the fucking ball and turn it over like he do. When he turns the ball, y'all know what I'm talking about. When he turns the ball over, bro, there's games where he throws 4 or 5 picks. I mean, and for some reason, he still have them somewhat in the game. I just see this as a top 5, top 10 offense because Puka with a second year in his belt. Cooper Kupp, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We did not talk about him last season. As much as a good receiver he has been, you know, he got injured a year before, but he still is a productive receiver. So give me the Rams to hit the over 8.5 win prop. Plus 333. No, plus 330, correction. Plus 330 to win the division. That is hella good value. I will throw a little sprinkle on that one. Next team we'll be talking about Seattle Seahawks. 12-man. You got the props at 7.5. This one is actually tricky because I feel like this one is pretty spot on. I lean over the 7.5 to make it possible 8.9. However, though, this is a new coach. You know, you got McDonald coming in. You know, I think the defense will be a little better. The offense, to me, the crazy thing about the offense is all intact. You know, you got Kenneth Walker. Bro, you got arguably one of the best 3 trio receivers. You know, Lockett is still productive, even though as old as he is. You know, DK Metcalf. And then you got Jack Smith-Njigba. I think for those 3, it's all about injuries, bro, because they get those nagging injuries. I know Jack Smith didn't play the first few weeks. DK, you know, he's guaranteed to hop off the field for a couple plays because of a weird injury. And we know Lockett's up there in age, so just how that goes. Kenneth Walker as well. And then you have Zach Cabernet, another productive running back. In this game, you need about 2-3 running backs nowadays because, yeah, it's sad, but it's not really full number 1 running backs anymore because they didn't use them up. But I think I will lean over, but I think it might hit under because there's going to be 2-3 games where the Seahawks will win, and they probably won't win. And I think the reason why would be Geno Smith. As much as I respect the research that he's had, I think the time is almost near for him because you don't trade for Sam Howell in the offseason just to get him. And honestly, I'm going to be unpopular opinion. I think Sam Howell didn't play bad with Washington. Washington doesn't have an offensive line at all. So that hurts you just off that. You can't do shit. Better offensive line over here in Seattle. I think if Geno starts to struggle, when he has some games where he is just not it, maybe 2-3 games in a row, I think Sam Howell's going to get plugged in. So my bold prediction is this could be Geno's last season as the Seattle Seahawk. It's just, and I hope I don't wish bad on nobody, but when it comes to what I seen last year, his numbers dropped. Like they were like you got swept against the Rams, right? And no one thought the Rams would be that good that they were last season, but you got swept in the first game. Okay, I get it. You got blew out, but the second game, you were actually, I think they were 8-point favorites. That's what even more crazy. They were 8-point favorites. You know, so it's some of the decision making with Geno Smith. Like I said, I think defense will be better because of the summer acquisitions they got. I think the linebacker side is probably like their weakness. But let's see, plus 750 to win a division. I mean, that's good value, but I don't think they win a division. Just my honest opinion on that one. And lastly, with this division, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals plus 6.5, plus 1,200 to win the division. Scratch the win division. I don't see them win division. 6.5. I want to say under so bad. I really want to say under. I saw this video, this podcast that had a former receiver on there, and he was kind of just talking about why he think Kyler Murray just isn't it. And like after hearing him, I'm like, damn, bro. He was saying some points like this. He was saying like, you realize he's only good for like the first half of the season because you always hear MVP talks. Definitely not a lie. I mean, that's been the truth since since the last few years he's been playing. So that's my idea with that one. And I think it's the second year for a new head coach. I think it's a little bit difficult. But like I said, the defense has gotten better, however, and I think that's the thing you have to really hope for this team. Now they will get some games where they're not supposed to win, and they will win because that is playing at Arizona. It's not an easy spot to play at, especially over there in the desert. But all in all, for this team, it needs to be just a step up in the direction, right? Last year they won some games they weren't supposed to win as well, right? And they did this without Murray. So we just need to see the consistency with Murray. I think that's the problem that a lot of people are having because we haven't seen it. We've seen the first 5-6 games, and then he fades away. But I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. will help out, but that's your only number one receiver. I mean, like you see what I'm like, the direction I have towards that. So if I was to reorder how I think it will go, give me the 49ers at 1, give me the Rams at number 2. I'm going to say Seattle at number 3, and I'll get the Cardinals at 4. I think Cardinals go under because I think they might get swept against the Seahawks. And I think that alone would knock that total down. I don't think they win. I think they could split with Seattle, and they can very well damn near lose to everybody else in the division. That's just my views on it. But as always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, comment who you think will probably win this division. And yeah, I'll keep dropping these as more as we go.